Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Fanatics. I'm here with Nathan. Nathan. Okay. All right. So today we will be doing wide receiver tiers. Um, I can't even go with you looking like this.
What do you mean?
I got to get you off the screen. Today we'll be doing wide receiver tier list. Like I said in the last video, this isn't necessarily our rankings. We try to switch it up a little bit, but it may kind of, coincide with them a little bit. We'll try not to. We'll try to make it fresh. I took off the waivers for this because I think all the players here, I don't think any of them you would leave on the waivers outside of Kenny Gallaudet. I hate to do that to Kenny Gallaudet, but Kenny Gallaudet is not draftable. So we will make, actually, while we're sitting here, we're going to do something. We are going to add a row below. We're going to call it
Kenny Gallaudet.
And make it red.
Sweet.
I think that is no. Look at me. I messed everything up. Just
what
trying
are
to
you
make
doing?
fun of Kenny Gallaudet.
He deserves it.
There we go.
All right, so I will start.
When Kenny Gallaudet comes up, we will put Kenny Gallaudet in his right place.
All right.
And but make sure you follow us at the FF Fanatics 3 on Twitter and the fffanatics.com. Check out our website. We have rankings. We have articles. We're going to be posting draft strategies coming up. We're going to do a 2-quarterback league mock draft coming on Sunday. And then we'll start maybe a new series the next week of draft strategy for maybe each spot. So you can start off with Amon-Ra.
All right, Amon-Ra St. Brown, very talented player. I'm going to put him at the back end of wide receiver 2. I would feel comfortable if he's my second wide receiver I draft. There's a couple more heads to feed in Detroit this year, but I think he's going to be fine.
George Pickens. The hype has gotten too much. I'm putting him in the bench.
He's their 4th stringer.
I think the hype from TikTok, people just acting like he's going to be some wide receiver 1. His quarterback is going to be Mitch Trubisky. They still have Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth. Am I missing anybody? They still have an agenda to get Najee Harris the ball.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Pickens could be the 5th option. They do create insane wide receivers in Pittsburgh, so it wouldn't surprise me if he is like a flex or wide receiver 3, but he's not. He's
not 4th string. He's going to be a 3rd string. 3rd string, sorry.
So,
Devonta Smith. I'm going to put him high in wide receiver 3. Should be a better offense this year. I think I'm a huge fan of Devonta Smith. It'd be different if you had a quarterback instead of a running back throwing to him. I think wide receiver 3 is perfect for him. I wouldn't mind him as like a flex, or maybe he's your first receiver off the bench, but that's probably where I'd be aiming for him.
Yeah. DK Metcalf, I'll put him behind Amon-Ra St. No, I'll put him above Amon-Ra St. Brown. Don't love the quarterback situation. I know you're a huge DK fan, but even you have to admit that this is just –
love the talent, hate the situation.
Could be a touchdown machine. He might not go over 1,000 yards again. That's hard to believe.
Yeah. I mean, did do it last year, so why would he improve? Brandon Ayuk, I'm going to put him as a flex. I think he's a semi-sleeper.
This could be the year for him. I mean, everybody thought last year would be the year for him, but this could be the year for him.
Yeah, but you go from Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Garoppolo is a better thrower than Trey Lance, so I don't see why you would increase expectations for Ayuk.
Maybe just double teaming Debo.
Maybe.
But that would just open up for George Kittle.
Yep.
Mike Williams, I think he goes above DK. Touchdown machine, big play. He's kind of like Mike Evans.
Sort of, yeah.
I think that's a good comparison, like player-wise, too. And he just makes the most miraculous catches, though.
He's very good.
He is such an awesome player to watch and an awesome offense, but he is the 3rd option in that offense. You got to remember that.
Right. Next, Elijah Moore. I'm going to put him wide receiver 3 behind Devonta Smith. I think he's another good talent. Hate the situation. You're going to most likely start out the year catching balls from Flacco and then Zach Wilson when he comes back. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think the first receiver to join the wide receiver 1 tier, Jamar Chase.
Yep. Nothing
Probably
to say.
top
Stud,
5. Just
for sure.
maybe defenses start paying attention to him more. But
How can you
they
though?
would after he scored 3 touchdowns against Kansas City last year.
How could
he
you though
didn't
with
stop.
Higgins, Mixon, Boyd? Like they got just stud after stud.
Yeah. So
Next, Treylon Burks. This is a tricky one. I'm guessing he's going to be the wide receiver 2 behind Robert Woods. I'm going to put him at wide receiver 3 behind Elijah Moore.
I am asking you, please don't do this. Please don't do this. DJ Chark, dude, you're such a piece of garbage. We're gonna speed through this one. DJ Chark is going above Brandon Ayuk, below Brandon Ayuk. I can't even focus for Mr. Chark. Did you already do it?
I mean, can we just acknowledge
No,
like?
you take it off the screen.
Okay.
Take it off the screen.
All right, keep going. DJ Chark.
I just did DJ Chark.
You love baby Chark. All right, Gabe Davis coming up.
Actually, I will have the shark fins, not the ET fins, but I will have the shark fins out, hoping for a good year. But I think he's below Brandon Ayuk. I think he could be the wide receiver 3, 4th option in that offense. I love me some Jameson Williams.
All right, Gabe Davis, a very divisive player this preseason. I'm going to put him at wide receiver 2 behind Amon-Ra. A lot of touchdown upside, and if he plays more yards, it's hard not to like that offense.
If you were asking me a couple weeks ago, I would have maybe tried to fit him here. I'm going to put him here. Michael Thomas, he's developed a hamstring injury. I don't know if that's anything to read into. He's getting up there in age. He doesn't have Drew Brees, who fed him the ball anymore. He is a stud. I moved him down in my rankings a little bit. Are we still going to get the Michael Thomas that we had 2 years ago after he sat out for a year and a half?
Yeah, I just never know.
But with Jameis Winston, maybe we talk about it all the time. He could support 2 top 15 receivers. Michael Thomas, I think, is the best receiver he's ever played with.
Oh, that's a hot take.
I'm putting him up above Mike Evans.
I'd take Mike Evans. Anyways, Tyreek Hill, back end wide receiver 1. You just can't ignore that kind of speed, even though, downgrade at quarterback. Tua's looked all right. Tyreek's
a downgrade?
According to Tyreek, no.
No. He said the most accurate quarterback he's ever played with.
Yep. Spencer's, very quick to post all of Tyreek's highlights from training camp and practice.
I'm just not a Dolphins fan. I think I will place the over-under on week 4.5 of when Tyreek is screaming on the sideline.
Okay.
Are you taking the over or under?
I'm taking the over. I think it works out.
You think it works out?
Yeah.
If he wasn't he freaking out on the sideline last year with in the playoffs or something like that? I thought I saw.
Can't remember.
Where he was freaking out and yelling at the coaches. If he can't get Patrick Mahomes, who fed him the ball, to throw him the right ball, he is in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool, love the player. I'll put him at the top of flex. I really like Chase Claypool. I think he's a really good sleeper. Super talented. Remember, just last year or 2 years ago, people were calling him, mini Megatron. I think that's way too far.
Yeah, Maple Megatron.
Yeah, there it is. I thought it was Maple Megatron. That's a stupid question. I was going to say it's because he's Canadian, right? But of course it is.
Yeah.
I think he is a great player who has a breakout potential, who is just stupid talented, just quarterback questions after quarterback questions.
Yep. Garrett Wilson. I'm going to put Garrett Wilson in the flex column above Chase Claypool. I think he's super talented, but like Elijah Moore, just not the right situation. If Zach Wilson can be, what we think Zach Wilson can be, then maybe he bumps up to wide receiver 3. So
there's one player I'm most excited to watch this season. I think that player is Garrett Wilson.
Really?
I think on week 1, when it's Sunday, I get excited like couple years ago it was Joe Burrow. Last year was Trevor Lawrence. I think this year it's going to be Garrett Wilson. Even though I hate the Jets, I cannot wait to watch Garrett Wilson. He's just so fast, such a great route runner, great hands. I just cannot wait to watch him right away in New York. Rashad Bateman, he's such – people are just calling for breakout, and they're starting to overrate him. I've heard some people say he might be wide receiver 2.
No.
I think I'd take him before Devonta Smith. I think there are some wide receiver 3s who are better that we'll get to.
Okay.
But I right now he's at the top of wide receiver 3 for me.
All right. Cooper Kupp, put him where he needs to go. I'll do CeeDee Lamb. Cooper Kupp, the GOAT.
CD.
Go ahead.
Wait, am I doing CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is tough. Either he's like the last wide receiver 1 or I think he's a wide receiver 1.
I think he's 1.
I think there's some good players coming up, but I do think he is super talented. He is in a great offense who throws the ball a lot, who just lost Amari Cooper. I think he's going to have a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, a lot of catches. He could very well. He's in that group of players who can finish as the wide receiver 1.
All right. Next, we got Jerry Judy. I'm going to put him wide receiver 2 right behind DK. Getting DK's old quarterback, Russ. I think Judy's super talented. Him and Cortland Sutton, I think both will have monster years.
Remember how good Jerry Judy was at Alabama?
Yeah, I was trying to tell you that the whole time. But
it's just so insane. I think I the one who was arguing CD was better. I
can't remember. We have these arguments every year.
Yes, about
we Alabama. Pick opposite players.
But Jerry Judy, so good, and he might have the quarterback who can unlock his potential.
Yep.
He could very well be a wide receiver 1. A lot of people forget how good Jerry Judy was.
Yep.
Deontay Johnson, I'd take him above. I'd take him above Michael Thomas right now.
I think it's accurate.
If we're doing half PPR, he could be a catch monster,
or a drop monster.
Such a question. Did
so
you say drop monster?
Yeah, and so are his hands.
Okay. All right. I cannot wait. I get to do the next player. All right. You get Allen Robinson.
All right. A-Rob, I'm going to put wide receiver 2. I think he is going. I'm going to put him right above Judy. Upgraded offense, upgraded quarterback, and I think he's really talented. All right, go ahead.
If there was a tier below Kenny Gallaudet, I would put him here. I drafted him last year around 6 in the 6th round. I was an idiot for doing so. I freaked out. Yeah, I was running out of time. It was either
wasn't that a panic? Wasn't that kind of a panic pick?
It was. It was either between him or T. Higgins. I was like, you know what, Kenny Gallaudet, touchdown monster, was so good for Detroit. Just so bad. If there was a tier below Kenny Gallaudet, he would go there. I don't know why I put him on this list. Maybe I put him on the list just so I could rant about Kenny Gallaudet. He looks like he puts in no effort. He has the worst quarterback. He's probably going to end up as the 3rd target on the offense. Wan'Dale Robinson is a better player than Kenny Gallaudet.
Oh, wow.
All right, continue with Stefan.
All right, Stefan Diggs. I'm going to put him right behind Jamar. Easy wide receiver 1. Wide receiver 1 in the best passing offense up there with Tampa Bay. He's going to get fed so much from Josh Allen. Stud, total stud.
With Odell on the team right there. Christian Kirk will be the player I'll put right here just because I think Trevor is going to improve and Trevor's got to throw to somebody. And I think they paid all that money to Christian Kirk. They've got to see something. Doug Peterson's got to see something that he can make work with Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Maybe he slips into wide receiver 2 this year. He's fast. He's a good route runner. He's not that small of a dude, right? He's like 5'11", 6 foot, something like that.
Yeah, probably around there.
But I think he'll be the player who unlocks Trevor's potential, and Trevor unlocks Kirk's potential.
Okay. Adam Thielen, he seems to always be forget about. Put him right there behind Gabe. Back in.
That, yeah.
Yeah, very back end wide receiver 2. Touchdown monster. I don't know why people forget about him.
He's being taken after these guys too.
Yep. I don't know why everybody forgets about him. He's super consistent, and Jefferson's going to get his. But when they get near the end zone, yes, he's got that connection with Kirk. So
he's not that big of a dude. He's just a touchdown machine.
He's very crafty. Yeah.
Marquise Brown. This one's a tough one.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins is going to miss 6 games.
Christian Kirk's gone.
Kyler was throwing, Marquise Brown the ball
God.
at Oklahoma when he was a stud. I didn't think I liked him this much until I'm talking myself into it. I'll put him right above Gabe Davis. Oh, I'll put him right after Gabe Davis.
Okay, not mad.
I think he will. I think he can touch top 15 while Hopkins is gone. But when Hopkins gets back, Hopkins is going to get his. And then, where does that leave Marquise Brown? That's the question.
All right. Cortland Sutton, put him right above Judy for all the same reasons I just talked about with Judy. Super talented. Dude's a stud. So now he's got Russ. Loves to throw deep ball. Cortland Sutton's a big body receiver. I think he's about 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big dude. I prefer him over Judy too.
I do as well. But
I
just
talked Judy up, but
slightly.
Cortland Sutton is that good.
He's very good.
But Chris Olave, I had him in the sleepers. I'll move him right above Garrett Wilson. These are all actually, if I look at it, this whole flex territory is like breakout potential players, maybe minus DJ Chark. But
ET?
like all 4 of them.
Did you just say ET when you're talking about DJ Chark?
No, not at all. You got Debo, I think.
Debo, I'm going to put him with his. I think he's definitely a wide receiver 1. I'm going to put him right above Tyreek. I don't think he's going to be catching as many passes from Trey Lance as he was Garoppolo, but this is assuming he still gets that rushing work. Easy wide receiver 1 if they're still feeding him the ball.
Yeah, this is the most trickiest player to rank for me this year.
Okay.
I'm putting him wide receiver 2 is getting a little crowded. I'm putting him at the top of wide receiver 3.
Okay.
He doesn't have a quarterback for the first 11 weeks. I still think he'll find his targets. He showed regression last year. Like he wasn't, he was good, but he wasn't great like he has been. I think he's how old is Amari Cooper? It didn't answer me. I think he's like 29 or 30, if I'm not mistaken.
It's got to be around there.
Let's see. How old is Amari Cooper? He is 28. So I was just totally wrong. Just turned 28. So good guess by me there. Yeah, he's getting up there in age. Seems like he's been playing a lot longer than that. Feels like he got drafted to the Raiders like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think Ware is starting to get to him a little bit. Such a great route runner. He's going to find himself open. Enough talking about Amari Cooper. Here's baby Debo.
Kadarius Toney. I'm going to put him right above Treylon Burks, wide receiver 3. Very talented, quick as hell. It's just a matter of, is he going to be able to get the ball enough? He should be on the field much more this year than he was last year. He showed what he can do. I think if you can get him around that range, I think he's got potential to outperform his ADP.
Yeah, the wide receiver 2 room is going to get a little bit crowded with these next few receivers. Michael Pittman, I'm taking him above Deontay. He has Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. Matt Ryan could still sling that thing, especially I think he will be able to pretty well behind a good offensive line, a lot better than he had in Atlanta.
And JT.
Michael Pittman, I think, will be a touchdown machine. I'm excited to watch Michael Pittman this year.
Okay. Next, I got Brandon Cooks. Another guy who's always forgot about, but just always performs regardless of who's throwing the ball to him. He'll have Davis Mills thrown to him, and he will be the only one being thrown to. I expect him to go over 1,000 yards, probably 6 or 7 tuds. I'm going to put him at the back end of wide receiver 2, right behind Thielen.
Yeah, just the wide receiver 2 room is just getting crowded. And we'll make it more crowded. DJ Moore, I'm taking him right after Michael Pittman.
Okay.
He's another player who, like you said, just performs. It doesn't matter who his QB is. Baker might actually be able. Could Baker be his best quarterback he's had besides, those final years of Cam?
He could be.
I think so. I mean, Cam, I think he played like 1 year with good Cam.
Maybe.
But was it good Cam?
We just need more touchdowns from DJ Moore. That's the only thing.
He puts up the catches. He puts up the yards. I think he scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, and it's like that. It's been like that every year as well. If he gets the touchdowns up, we're looking at wide receiver 1 potential because that dude can fly. I don't think people talk about him enough. He is super talented.
Yep. Drake London,
I'm going to put him wide receiver 3 right above Treylon Burks. It'll be the London and Kyle Pitts show in Atlanta when it comes to catching the ball with some Cordero sprinkled in there as well. I think he's a super talented player. It's just all about the quarterback situation. He should be, without a doubt, their number 1 receiver, but Kyle Pitts is effectively the number 1. So I don't think the offense is going to be great, but he will definitely help.
I'm starting to like him more and more as the process is going on. He's
a good player.
I think he'll catch a lot of touchdowns. As many as he possibly can in that offense, though. I really don't want to add another wide receiver 2, but I really don't want to put Keenan Allen as a wide receiver 1. He's going to go right above Mike Williams. He's better right now. I think he's a target monster, a catch monster. He's not going to put up the touchdowns Mike Williams does, but he's going to put up more yards, more catches, more targets. Keenan Allen is just a machine.
Okay.
Who keeps on going.
Next, we got T. Higgins. So this is a tough one because I think T. Higgins is so talented. I think he's in the Keenan Allen, Mike Williams range. I'm going to put him right in between them. I think I would take Keenan Allen over him, but I think I prefer Higgins to Mike Williams. I see him and Mike Williams being very similar. Both are just
talented.
studs.
He's so talented too.
Stud. And
I said that about everybody, but
yeah, T. Higgins, good size, good speed, and you got Joe Burrow throwing in the ball, so can't go wrong. I think he's going to have a monster year with more attention being paid to Jamar Chase.
Robert Woods. I'm gonna move Robert Woods right above Elijah Moore.
Okay.
I think Robert Woods is the most slept-on receiver in this whole draft process. He is coming off of a big injury, but Ryan Tannehill supported some really good seasons of A.J. Brown. I'm not saying Robert Woods is A.J. Brown, but Robert Woods, all he did was, catch balls with Jared Goff. And I think Ryan Tannehill's on that same level as Jared Goff. He's target catch monster. May not put up the touchdowns, but Robert Woods, I think, is really good.
All right. Next, we got Julio Jones. This is a tricky one. I'm going to put him on the bench above Pickens.
Really?
He is currently listed as the wide receiver 4 in Tampa. I can see him rotating in and out with Russell Gage. Super talented, obviously. I mean, he's old. He's going to be going really late in drafts. I would look to put him on your bench and then wait and see with him. But I mean, it's Julio Jones. It's one of the flyers I think everybody should be targeting.
Yeah, Skye Moore, I'm going to put right above DJ Chark.
Okay.
He could be the wide receiver 1. I don't think he will be, though. But, I mean, in any offense with Patrick Mahomes, the wide receiver 4 could put up big numbers. So he's in the best offense. I just hate the number 24. I don't know. He wears number 24, and I hate it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I'm going to put right behind CD as a wide receiver 1. Just so consistent. People sleep on him even though he's so good. 6'5", runs like a deer, got great hands, catching from the goat. What more can you ask? It's just, can he stay healthy?
DeAndre Hopkins, when he is playing, I think he is right here. Still, I think he is. missing 6 games, he will be right here at the top. I think this is where you should draft him. I think he on ESPN, he's being drafted in the 90s. That is criminal. If you draft a good team and can play DeAndre Hopkins the 7th week of the season, you're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I was looking at his stats recently. Actually, this past season, I think he had an okay year, but he's very touchdown dependent.
He wasn't great. He wasn't great the last year.
I don't think he had a single game over 100 yards. Whereas in Houston, it was like clockwork, 100 yards at a time, like every game. So I think that's pretty accurate. I probably when it gets down to Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Bateman, I think I'd be taking Hopkins over them. All right, Michael Gallup. Health, a little bit of a question. I'm going to put him as a wide receiver 3. Let's see. I'm going to wide receiver 3. Let me put him right above Robert Woods. Because I think when he is there, he's going to be the wide receiver 2 in a pass-heavy offense. He's going to be their main guy on the outside. CD plays in the slot. So that'd be my reasoning.
All right. I can't believe I'm doing this. I think you know what I'm doing.
There's no shot.
I'm doing it.
That's just criminal. There's no shot. I don't understand this logic. It is just very popular in the fantasy football community. I do not see how you can draft Jefferson.
Okay, all right. I'm doing it because I think no, I'm not.
I think that is absolutely ridiculous.
All right, I'm doing it. So my reasoning is I think Cooper Kupp will be, you might say, oh, they should have done this last year. Well, they've had all offseason, all right? So I think Allen Robinson will be the best 2 that Cooper Kupp's played with. I'm saying he was better than Odell was. I think he would take targets away from Cooper Kupp, not that much, but I think defenses will start to, figure out, double cover this dude. I mean, he was just running open. It seemed like every single week. He was a touchdown machine. But on to Justin Jefferson. I think he is the safest player in fantasy football.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
He is going to get his targets no matter what. Like we said, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. He's going to give you 30 to 35 touchdowns. He's going to pass for yards. He's going to sling it. I think Justin Jefferson is a top 3 talent receiver. I had Justin Jefferson in this whole beginning ranked around here. It's so hard to take anybody but Cooper Kupp.
We'll leave him there for now.
Yeah, I might change it. I don't know. I'm fighting with myself over it.
All right. Juju, I'm going to put in the very back end of wide receiver 2 behind Brandon Cooks. I think he has massive upside. People forget how good he was in Pittsburgh. He had
on him.
He had 1,400 yards, and now he's going to be one of Mahomes' top weapons. I think there's a big season ahead for Juju.
Hated on. Terry McLaurin.
Stud, by the way. Stud.
Very, very good. One of the most
like DJ Moore. Stud.
But what
an
awful situation. I'm going to take him after Deontay.
Okay.
I don't love that. If he had who's a quarterback?
Who's in him? Tannehill.
If he had Kirk Cousins, like we were just saying, throwing him the ball.
Kirk Cousins, he'd be amazing.
He'd be right here. He might even crack right here. He's so good, but he's just the quarterback situation. Carson Wentz returned. Carson Wentz, I don't think so.
All right, AJ Brown. I'm going to put him. It's tricky. I'm going to put him at the back end, wide receiver 1, right behind Mike Evans. Super talented dude. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be competent enough to feed him the ball. Jalen Hurts likes to throw deep. Him and Devonta Smith are both going to be getting plenty of looks. And I think AJ Brown, he's just that dude. It's a shame that DK doesn't have the same situation as AJ Brown, because I prefer DK to AJ Brown. That may be unpopular, but I mean AJ Brown's a stud. He can't go wrong.
Tyler Lockett, I'm going to put right here. Actually, no, I'm going to.
I think it's too high.
I'm going to move him behind Amari Cooper.
I'd put him
Actually, I'm
lower.
moving back a little bit more.
I think right up. I would play him right above Gallup.
I'd take him after Robert Woods.
Okay.
Russ was the only thing keeping Lockett, Tyler Lockett. It was those beautiful deep balls that somehow he caught.
Mm-hmm.
Geno isn't going to deliver those.
No, Drew Lock's not going to deliver those.
So I think the touchdowns go way down. I don't think he has 800 yards receiving.
Yeah, last year like 1,200 or something.
It's going to be a tough year for Lockett, I think.
Yep. Hunter Renfro, I'm going to put him wide receiver 3. I'm going to put him right above Gallup, right behind Devonta Smith. Target monster. But now you got to contend with Devonte Adams. I still think he's going to be getting plenty of looks out of the slot. I think he could potentially be very good value in PPR. I think he'll be around the 100 catch mark.
He's a steal in PPR.
Yeah. No, he's not like a pretty pick. Like, people think Hunter Renfro kind of boring.
He's just going to be a flex. I mean, you draft him to put in your flex spot. He's not going to be your starting receiver, but he's a fine flex who's going to get the job done.
It's kind of like back when Julian Edelman was playing. Same player.
You just slot him in, and you're going to get 8 catches for 70 yards and maybe a touchdown.
Yeah.
Chris Goblin, I'm a huge, huge fan of Chris Goblin. I'm going to put him right after Mike Williams. I'm a huge fan. He just is so good before that ACL tear. He had a really good year last year. Not as good as the year before, I don't think. Tom Brady is going to feed him the ball without AB being there. Some weeks, Chris Godwin was the wide receiver 3. Some weeks, he was the wide receiver 1. I think he'll either be the wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 now. I'm just hoping he comes off that ACL tear just fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was ACL and MCL. I mean, that's a total blowout of the knee. That's pretty severe. I would be just a little concerned he's not going to be like old Chris Godwin coming back. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
Alan Lazard. My thing with Alan Lazard is I am not convinced he's going to be their number 1 receiver. But I'm a huge fan. I'm not. I'm going to put him as a wide receiver 3 just because he could be the wide receiver 1. I'll put him right in front of Renfro.
Yeah. I think he has a chance to be up here. Not right now, but if he becomes that guy, he was so good in the last 3 to 4 weeks last year.
Yeah.
It felt like he was catching touchdowns after touchdowns. But I'm not sold on the player completely. I just think he will be the wide receiver 1. Speaking of wide receiver 1s, I'm taking Devontae right after Debo.
Okay.
Don't love it's definitely a downgrade, but he's Devontae freaking Adams.
And Derek Carr is no slouch.
There's no way Devonte Adams is going to finish outside of this tier.
Yeah, agreed. And I think people really sleep on Derek Carr. I think he's a solid quarterback. Next, we got Jalen Waddle. I'm going to put Waddle. I will put Waddle right in front of Michael Thomas after McLaurin.
Right there.
Super talented. Last year he had just under 1,000 yards. I could see him going over for sure. I think the whole offense is going to be better with Tyreek. I don't think one or the other is just going to blow out the other in stats. I think they'll be very close. I mean, both dudes can just absolutely fly with the ball, with or without it. It all depends on Tua. And I think you're getting a very fair value middle wide receiver too.
The last one, Darnell Mooney, I think goes right after Gabe Davis. That might be a little low, but Darnell Mooney is a really good player in maybe one of the worst quarterback rooms. Maybe in one of the worst offenses.
The whole situation just you just hope Justin Fields can survive behind that line.
But he's a wide receiver too, just based off of how good he is.
Right.
He's going to command the targets, maybe all the targets. It's going to be Cole Kmet, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But that is it for the wide receivers. Tomorrow will be tight ends, and then we're going to do a mock draft on Sunday. We've had a highly requested 2-quarterback or super flex draft, so that ought to be fun. I don't think I've done one this year. I don't think I've ever.
I think I've done. I've done one like a real draft with two quarterbacks. It's such a different strategy from just one quarterback. I mean, it really is. Quarterbacks fly off the board. So
but we're gonna do our best to make it work.
Yeah.
But it will be fun. We'll do that a live stream on Sunday, so make sure you jump in. We'll probably do it around lunchtime or so, but we'll post on Twitter before we're going to do it. And,
let us know what you think about the tiers. What do you agree with? What do you disagree? What would you move? And interact with us on Twitter, the FFNX3. Follow the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Hope you enjoy the content, the Fantasy Fanatics, and check out our website, theFFNX.com.